Three tomatoes are walking down the street. Papa tomato, mama tomato, and baby tomato.
Plain Ketchup presents.
Starring Lindsay Hinkle and Jamie Nelson.
So this is Plain Ketchup, is it? I prefer something with a little more kick.
Everybody's favorite condiment-themed entertainment podcast.
Put some hot sauce on my burrito, baby!
Hot sauce.
Nobody puts ketchup on a hot dog.
Welcome to Plain Ketchup Podcast. I'm your host, Lindsay Hinkle, and with me is my co-host, Jamie Nelson. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Lindsay.
How's it going?
Swell.
Ooh, do you want to hear the story of the time that drunk guy came into my place of business?
Why, sure.
This guy walks in, and, he's barely standing up, right? Like, he's swaying all over the place, and he's like, I want a carne asada burrito. And we're like, okay. So we ring it up, and the guy comes up to me, and he's like, this food is shit. He hadn't even eaten the burrito yet. He had just put it in. The cooks were making it. And he's like, well, I'm going to go have a cigarette, and then I'll be back for my burrito. So the burrito comes up, and he's nowhere to be found. And like 2 hours later, he comes stumbling back in there, and he's like, did I leave my keys here? I looked at him, and I'm like, no, you didn't. He's like, but I need my keys. I'm like, well, I don't have your keys. I have your burrito. And he's like, did I already pay for it?
Tell me you said no.
Yeah. I was like, no, you didn't. Your check's right here. And he's like, well, I don't want a burrito. I want my keys. And I'm like, well, I don't sell car keys. I sell burritos. Mm-hmm. And he's like, but I really need my keys. And I'm like, well, you could buy the burrito and take it to your car and try to put it in the keyhole to open the car. And as I'm saying that, there's these three people sitting at the bar just watching this whole thing, three customers, and this woman just starts laughing so hard. And I had kept a straight face up until this point. And when she started laughing, one of my coworkers who was standing next to me just lost it. And he starts to, this isn't funny. I need my keys. I had to go in the back. I was laughing so hard. I go up to the woman sitting at the bar who was laughing at me. I'm like, I'm sorry about that. That was probably not the most professional way to handle that situation, but I was having a lot of fun.
Well, speaking of fun, let's let our guest in. It's Garrison Starr.
In the Skype studio today, joining us is singer-songwriter Garrison Starr. How are you, Garrison?
I'm doing well, Jamie, and yourself?
I'm great, thanks. So, first of all, inquiring minds want to know, what is your hair color today?
My hair color is, well, technically it's dark brown, but I'm not going to lie, it looks black.
Okay, I had to ask because your latest video sort of left a teaser.
That's right. It's black, and it looks awesome. I'm going to be honest. I love it. I'm really into it.
Oh, good. Well, that's all that matters.
Yeah, I'm very passionate about the color of my hair.
So, how did Sunday go? I know that you were filming a music video.
Dude, it was so great. We had a wonderful time, and, we had some friends and fans show up for the shoot, which was awesome. I was trying to get more fans involved with the shoot, but it went great. We had just enough people. I hired a taco truck, so we had, authentic, delicious Mexican food down there, and it was incredible. And
nice.
It was a long day. It was hot. I got I will admit that I got pretty sunburned. Mm-hmm. But we had a great time, and like I said, we had just enough people show, and I think it's going to turn out awesome. My friend Adrian Gonzalez, who's in a band called The Rescues, and is also, just a singer-songwriter in her own right. She's wonderful, and she's she kind of has her hand in a lot of different pots, but right now she's interested in directing, and so I think she did an incredible job. And we had, we were lucky. We had a full crew down there. Most of the people just volunteered their time. I have a friend who is a second AD on Modern Family, and she came down with a couple of her people. And Adrian's girlfriend is a producer, so she came down with some PAs. I got to do a real music video, and I got to feel like a real artist, which is when you're indie and you're doing everything yourself. It's like you forget what it's like to have a crew because usually finances don't allow you to have a big crew like that. So it was a blessing, and a lot of people came down and, out of goodwill, and it was awesome to show support. It was great.
Cool. So what sort of stuff, what's the plot of the music video that you had people doing?
The song that we did the video for is called Slow Crawl. It's the third song on my new record, Amateur, and basically, Adrian's concept for the video was a call to arms. It sort of starts out just focused on me, and then as the video goes on, more and more people adapt to the scene, and it becomes, at the end, it's, a moderate to big crowd singing the song and playing instruments, and it's, so it starts out small and it gets bigger. We sort of accumulate people in the march. It's pretty cool.
Very neat.
Yeah, it was pretty special. I have to say, there was a really great feeling on set on Sunday, and it felt powerful,
Mhm. Cool. So you've been touring the new album, is that right?
I guess I have been doing stuff since March. I went over to Holland in April with my friend Jay Nash, and we did 3 weeks in Holland, Germany, and the UK, which wasn't necessarily promo for the new record because I don't really have a career over there per se, but I'm trying to start going over there more and developing an audience. Toured with my friend David Berkeley, and that was really special. But the response to the record has been great.
Oh, good. Has any of this touring led to any crazy travel stories?
I definitely have other stories I can share with you from different parts of my touring career if we want to go there.
Oh, we'll take that. We'll take that, sure.
There was a time where, this was pretty awesome, there was a time where my tour manager and I, this was when I was still signed to Geffen, my tour manager and I we were called to catch up with this tour that was starting in Seattle, basically. We had to be there in a little over 24 hours. It was like we basically had like a day, maybe a day and a half to get to Seattle, and we had to drive from Memphis. So we essentially had to drive straight through. So we drove to Amarillo and then got stuck in a snowstorm. So we lost a half a day in Amarillo, Texas. So we had to drive 23 hours straight to Seattle in order to make this tour. Do you remember this band called God Street Wine?
No, not ringing a bell.
Yeah, okay, well, barely rings a bell for me as well, but we were opening for God Street Wine. And so we got through the snowstorm, we started driving, and basically we had to take Yellow Jackets. I don't know if you know what Yellow Jackets are, but they're basically trucker speed.
Oh, okay, I thought you meant like bumblebees.
Yeah, exactly. We ate Yellow Jackets. No, so we had to take this trucker speed called Yellow Jackets in order to essentially be able to drive all night. So this was back in the day when you had pagers and CB radios. So we had like a CB radio, and the antenna was this magnet that stuck to the top of our 15-passenger van.
Oh.
And then it had this huge, walkie-talkie device where you just you push down the thing, you say your call sign, and then you can listen to all the truckers talking. So we had that in a pager, and we were driving across the West. So we're driving from Texas to Washington. So, you're driving through fucking, I don't know, Arizona or New Mexico, Colorado, Idaho, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we're driving across all this barren land with our CB radios, and we get to the Seattle area. And first of all, by the time we got to Boise, we were hallucinating. So, the tour manager definitely thought she saw a yak cross the road. So we're driving through fog, seeing yaks, and so we decided that at 9:30 in the morning, we were, first of all, starving, and secondly, we needed to get some sleep. So we pulled over, and I remember I had a single with cheese and everything but tomato from Wendy's. At 9:30 in the morning, I ate a hamburger. And then we laid down at about 10:30 to go to sleep, and we couldn't sleep because we were so jacked up on trucker speed, and then I ate that hamburger. And so we laid down at the Comfort Inn or whatever it was for like 3 hours, couldn't sleep, so we kept driving. So if that wasn't enough, we get to Seattle, to the Snoqualmie Pass, that's the mountains that you cross over before you get to the other side of Seattle. So we're driving over the Snoqualmie Pass, and it's snowing, and so basically I'm driving, and I'm the worst driver. First of all, I'm pretty much the worst driver in the world. Well, this is a debate that goes on with my girlfriend and with our friends. Most people are terrified of my driving. However, I feel that I am what did we come up with yesterday? That I'm an aggressively safe driver. I drive fast, I drive erratically, but I'm a good driver.
But you never hit anything.
Well, when I was a teenager, I hit a lot of things. But I haven't had a wreck, knock on wood, in quite some time. But I do scare the crap out of everyone that rides with me. So I'm driving, and we're in the snow. So we're driving down the Snoqualmie Pass, and I'm freaking out, just because it's icy and snowy, and it's down, downhill. It's like a 4% grade. And we have the CB on, and there's all these truckers passing. It's like, what the fuck's going on with that bitch in the Hammerlade? She's going to kill somebody. Hammerlade. And then my tour manager's screaming at me like, don't put on the brakes, don't put on the brakes. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm scared shit. And the truckers are screaming at us, so that was kind of outrageous. We ended up making it down the hill, but it was quite adventurous.
Wow.
Quite adventurous, yeah.
That's a good story.
It's probably not the best, but it's the first one that came to mind.
So the new record came out in May, Amateur. Can you talk a little bit about what makes this record different than your previous albums? Is this your 7th or your 6th?
This is my 7th studio record, Amateur.
Wow.
What separates this record, in my mind, from anything else that I've done is that it's a new beginning for me. You know, I mean, I don't want to devalue anything I've done in the past by saying that I wasn't, like, completely present for it. But that's kind of the truth, you know. Like, I feel like now I've finally sort of honed my skills. You know, I feel like a Jedi. I mean, I don't mean to sound arrogant, but it's like I feel like a Jedi right now, you know. Like, I've done so many different things, and I've accumulated so many different skills over the years, and I feel like I've finally learned, like, a lot of important lessons. And, you know, I'm, like, excited to kind of start my career in a more knowledgeable and mature place. Like, I feel like it's the best music that I've made to date. I feel like these are just, it just feels like everything is come together for me, like, personally and spiritually and musically for this record. And that's where it is for me, you know. So I think, you know, I'm pretty passionate about it from that standpoint.
Speaking of passionate things, what is something aside from music, I'm segueing, what is something besides music that you are passionate about?
Gosh, what is something that I'm passionate about besides music? You know, this is actually something that I've been working on because my identity has been wrapped up in my career for so long. But I would say the first thing, there's two things that come to mind. One is, my favorite thing in the world, I think, is hanging out with my friends. One of my favorite things, if not my favorite thing to do, is to be at my home, you know, with my partner and my friends, and just, you know, share with each other. You know, like, I love for us to be able to have everything we want to drink, and to be able to order what we want to eat, and just spend time together, you know, sit outside. And I don't know, like, a lot of times when people come to my house, you know, to hang out, because my girlfriend and I have a really cool we have a nice little place out in Eagle Rock where we live, and there's a nice little, like, patio set up out there so people can smoke out there, and it's just a nice place to hang. We have good space for people, and, you know, it's my favorite thing to kind of sit back and just see my friends enjoying each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I guess it's one of those things that people take for granted. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something that I feel really passionate about, and also exercise.
Oh.
You know, I'm really into spinning right now. That's kind of my exercise passion. Oh, and food. I'm sorry, there are a lot of things I feel passionately about besides music, apparently.
Exercise and food.
You know, I exercise as much as I can so that I can eat as much as I can, to be honest, because I'm crazy about food.
Are you into cooking, or you like other people to cook?
No, not really. I'm just into eating.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like to make it, but I love to eat it.
What's your favorite?
My favorite dinner right now is the chickenless Mandarin chicken from Trader Joe's.
Chickenless chicken?
Yeah, it's chickenless. It's basically like meatless chicken. It comes with this fucking, like, ridiculous sauce. It's so good. Jamie, you can't even imagine. You pour the sauce all over this fake chicken that's kind of like it's lightly breaded.
Uh-huh.
One of the most important parts of the story is that you have to get their sweet chili sauce. You pour it all over the chicken that already has this genius sauce on it, and then you dip the egg rolls in it. Holy crap, it's so good.
I will have to try that next time I'm in Trader Joe's.
No, you have to. Because the Mandarin chicken, it's their #1 seller. And now the chickenless chicken is their #1 seller, clearly because of the sauce.
Wow, I didn't know Trader Joe's was in the sauce business.
Well, but this is why food is so important to me, because I remember all these details.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. You live in California now. You're from Mississippi?
Correct.
And do you live in New York for a while or no?
You know, I lived in New York for 7 months.
Okay.
I lived in L.A. for 8 years, and then I moved to Nashville for 3. And then I wanted to leave Nashville, and I started doing a lot of work with my friend Nene Camps in New York City, in Brooklyn. She's in a band called Insignia Rising. And so Nene and I were working together and writing together a lot. And I just had a bunch of friends in New York at that time, and I was enjoying that scene. And to be honest, I knew that I wanted to move back to Los Angeles, but I knew that when I moved back to Los Angeles, that was going to be pretty much a permanent move for me. So I thought, before I move back to LA, I got to go to New York. I got to spend, at least a year-ish in New York. And so, I made it for 7 months, and then, I've legitimately just missed Los Angeles so much. I just, I was like, fuck this. I got to go back.
Sure. All right, fair enough. I think this was when you were here. I saw you when you were playing with Josh Joplin a couple times in New York.
Oh, yeah, of course. Did you come to our Joe's Pub show?
Joe's Pub, yep, and the Bowery Ballroom. Is that what it was?
Oh, awesome. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about what that project was like among the Oak and Ash?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I to be totally honest, I just kind of fell in love with Josh. Just as a person. He was like a brother, I'm an only child, so he was like the brother I never had. And Josh was so passionate about what I was doing musically, and at the time where he and I met, I was lost. I was lost, like, in terms of my career. And so Josh came along and offered me this opportunity to be a part of something really special. And I didn't really think too much about it. I love Josh so much, and I was looking for some direction, and so I just jumped into it head first. And, Josh is one of the nicest, most creative, most loving people I've ever met. I'm crazy about him. He's just a wonderful person. And, being a part of that project gave me a lot of confidence, personally and musically. And, I just feel like that relationship was a big blessing in my life, and I would never change that. It was awesome to be a part of that. I learned so much, business-wise and personally, working with Josh. He's just a great dude. He's very smart, and, I only benefited from that experience.
Oh, that's great. And a great record came out of it too. So
yeah, thank you. It was very fun working on that project with him on all levels.
Is there anything that you want to make sure that our listeners know before we start to wrap it up?
Oh, man. I'd say the main thing for the listeners to know is that, this 7th record of mine, Amateur, is the first record in 7 records that I actually own 100% of. So it's actually my first real indie record. And, with the help and support of a lot of friends, I have pretty much done a lot of this stuff on my own, which is the first time that's ever happened, So it's exciting. And I know that it's becoming more commonplace, but for me it's a really big deal, because I started out signed to a major label at 21, 22 years old. And, coming from that world and merging, at 37, merging into this sort of new world that, all of us are kind of in the new world now, because who knows where the music business is going, and it's pretty messed up for everyone. It's just new, Everything is changing with technology and how the business works and all that.
Yep.
But, it's exciting. It's a really exciting time for me. And I just, I guess what I want everyone to know is that, spread the word. I need your support. I'm doing this for, through people like you who are supportive and wonderful, and people like Jeff Kilgore, my publicist, and all of my friends who've supported me. It's like, I think sometimes people don't know, and rightly so, people don't really know what goes into making a record, and what, people are always asking me, like, why don't I see your stuff on this, and why don't I hear your stuff on the radio, and why don't I blah, 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 and it's like, it's hard to explain to people that there's different levels of marketing and promotion, and, there's different levels of an artist's career, I guess. And so for me, that's the reason why the record is called Amateur in large part, is because I do feel like in a lot of ways I'm starting over as an artist.
Yeah.
And I don't see that as a bad thing. I'm actually, I did at first. I was really ashamed at first because I felt like I'd failed as an artist from going, from a major label to basically going to become, more of an indie artist. But it's really awesome. I'm empowered and excited without fans, without people to help spread the word and to, about your project. And it's really doesn't matter. I guess that's the most important thing, is for people to, educate themselves about, artists that they like. Educate yourself. What is their process? What is their situation? I had a guy in North Carolina reach out to me in the last week about helping me to promote the Charlotte show. Oh. And it's like, that's awesome. this guy just reached out to me and asked me, was there anything he could do to help? It's like, absolutely, there is, Andrew. As a matter of fact, you can help me, and this is how, and thank you so much, you know? I mean, I think education is important for listeners, you know, to know, I mean, not to bum people out, you know, but just so they know, you know, what is an artist situation and how can they get involved? Because that's, you know, that not only does it mean a lot for the artist, but it's essential, really, for a lot of people, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. That's good advice. So where can people find you online?
You know, they can find me. I would prefer, if people, you know, would be into it, to go to my website to buy the record, which is www.garrisonstarr.com, 2 R's in Garrison, 2 R's in Starr. You know, and you can also stream my entire catalog on my website for free, which, you know, again, it's great to just get people to go to the artist's website. The artist makes more money, and it's a way for us to stay connected with people who are interested. So, and you know, of course, you can find it on iTunes and Amazon and all that. But like I said, I prefer that people go directly to me, to the website, to check out the music.
Cool. And people can find you on Facebook and Twitter.
Yes, and people can find me on Facebook as a band, Garrison Starr. I don't have a personal Facebook page, and my Twitter is just Garrison Starr, same my name. So, and the video for Slow Car will be releasing soon, within the next month. So I'm really excited about that.
Oh, awesome!
I think it's gonna be super cool. You know, it's the first like conceptual video, really, that I've made in a long time, and I think it's cool. Like, I really think visually it's gonna stimulate people, and I just think it's neat. You know, I was excited to have. You know, to feel like there was a posse of people that were involved in the making of it. That felt really good to me. So
yeah, well, I look forward to seeing it, and I'm sure our listeners will too.
Awesome. Well, dude, thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. Seriously, it means so much.
No problem at all. Listen, have a good rest of your night.
Hey, I will. You have a good night too, and take care.
Okay, bye-bye.
See you. Bye.
Like smoke. At least they gave me a view of downtown Minneapolis. The drunken crowd underneath my window stumbles from out of the bar behind the wheels of their cars. They're hoping for the best, hoping for the best. Devil's rain and a dying language. I bet my heart in Des Moines, and I made a promise that you believe. I don't believe these things that you believe. No, I don't believe these things that you believe. I don't believe these things. I'm sorry. Between the devil's rain and a dying language, I left my heart in Des Moines, and I made a promise to California. I said I would be coming home. I said I would be coming home. I said I would be coming home.
This has been Hot Sauce, brought to you by PlainKetchup.com. Please subscribe, rate, and comment on iTunes. Check back every week for a new celebrity guest interview or hilarious video. You may also want to subscribe to our video channel on YouTube.com/PlainKetchup. Sign up for our newsletter on PlainKetchup.com. Please like us on Facebook.com/PlainKetchup. And follow us on Twitter @PlainKetchup. Don't forget to support this project by buying Plain Ketchup swag at our Cafe Press store. Have a question? Email Jamie and Lindsay at gmail.com. That's JAIME and LINDSEY at gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Stay saucy.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Lindsay.
How's it going?
Swell.
What you doing?
Oh, you've been creepy.
What are you wearing?
God, did you know that earlier today Lindsay tried to do a striptease with her feet only?
It's true. I was taking off my socks in front of the webcam and going bow chicka wow wow.